Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today's topic is types of circulation, physiological categories of heart. So let's get started. The circulatory system consists of heart and the arteries and veins that convey blood throughout the body. Body must always circulate to sustain life. It carries oxygen from the air we breathe to cells throughout the body. The pumping of the heart drives this blood flow through the arteries, capillaries, and veins. One set of blood vessels circulates blood through the lungs for gas exchange. The other vessel fuel the rest of the body. Combined with the cardiovascular system, the circulatory system helps to fight off disease, help the body to maintain a normal body temperature, and provides the right chemical balance to provide the body homeostasis or a state of balance among all its systems. The circulatory system consists of four major components. The heart. Uh, First is the heart. About the size of two adult hands held together, the heart rests near the center of the chest. The heart keeps the circulatory system working at all the times. Second is arteries. Arteries carry oxygen rich blood away from the heart and where it needs to go. Veins. Veins carry deoxygenated blood to the lungs where they receive oxygen. Fourth one is blood. Blood is the transport media of nearly everything within the body. It transports hormones, nutrient, oxygen, antibodies, and other important things needed to keep the body healthy. Oxygen enters the bloodstream through tiny membranes in the lung that absorb oxygen at it is inhaled as the body uses the oxygen and processes nutrients. It creates carbon dioxide which your lungs expel as exhale. A similar process occurs with the digestive system to transport nutrient as well as hormones in the endocrine system. These hormones are taken from where they are produced to the organ they affect. Types of circulation of blood. In a human body, there are three types of circulation of blood. First is systematic, greater circulation. The blood flows from the left ventricle through the various parts of the body to the right atrium, from the left to the right side of the heart, through the arteries and veins which traverse the whole body. This circulation is responsible for keeping the body tissues alive by supplying a continuous stream of blood to them. Second is pulmonary या leisure circulation. क्या होता है? The blood flows from the right ventricle through the lungs to the left atrium, that is from right to the left side of the heart. This circulation is responsible for oxygenation of blood. In pulmonary circulation, the blood passes through the lungs where dioxide is eliminated and oxygen is added to the blood. In this way, the pulmonary circulation makes sure that systematic circulation remains effective. The third one is portal circulation. It is part of systematic circulation which has the following characteristics. First is the blood passes through two sets of capillaries before draining into systemic vein. The vein draining the first capillaries network is known as portal vein, which branches like an artery to form the to form the second set of capillaries or sinusoids. Examples is hepatic portal circulation, hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal circulation, and renal portal circulation. This is the image of portal circulation. Physiological categories of heart. The cardiovascular system can be thought of as the transport system of the body, and this system has three main components: the heart, the blood vessel, and the blood itself. The heart is the system's pump, and the blood vessels are like the delivery routes. Blood can be thought of as a fluid which contains the oxygen and nutrients the body needs and carries the wastage which need to be removed. The following information describes the structure and function of the heart and the cardiovascular system as a whole. And this is the structure of heart. As you can see the different structure here. You can also draw this image in your notebook. Function and location of heart. The heart's job is to pump blood around the body. The heart is located between the two lungs. It lies left of the middle of the chest. Heart. The heart is muscle about the size of fist and is roughly cone-shaped. It is about 12 centimeter long, 9 centimeter across the broadest point, and about 6 centimeter thick. The pericardium is a fibrous covering which wraps around the whole heart. It holds the heart in place but allow it to move as it beats. The wall of the heart itself is made up of a special type of muscle called cardiac muscle. Chambers of the heart. The heart has two sides, the right side and the left side. The heart has a fourth chamber. ये ह्यूमन बॉडी की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे. सो जो फोर्थ चैम्बर होता है मैमल्स में उसकी बात हो रही है. The left and right side each have two chambers, a top chamber and a bottom chamber. The two top chambers are known as the left and right atria. अगर यहाँ पे आर्टराइज प्लूरल, अगर यहाँ पे एक आर्ट्रियम की बात, एक आर्ट्रिया की बात होगी तो वो आर्ट्रियम कहलाएगा. द आर्ट्रिया रिसीव ब्लड फ्रॉम डिफरेंट सोर्सेज. The left atrium receives blood from the lungs and the right atrium receives blood from the rest of the body. The bottom two chambers are known as the left and right ventricle. The ventricle pumps blood out to different parts of the body. The right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs. The right ventricle pumps blood to the lungs, which the left ventricle pumps out of the blood to rest of the body. The ventricle have much thicker walls than the atria, which allow them to perform more work by pumping out blood to the whole body. Next is blood vessel. Blood vessel are tubes which carry blood. Veins are blood vessels which carry blood from the body back to the heart. Arteries are blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to the body. But there are also microscopic blood vessels which connect arteries and veins together called capillaries. There are few main blood vessels which connect to different chambers of the heart. The aorta is the largest artery in our body. आपने इमेज देखा होगा, ये आर्टरी है, aorta यहाँ पे इमेज है. The largest arteries in our body, this is aorta. ये right ventricle, left ventricle, right atrium, left atrium, means there are four chambers in. Blood vessels are tubes which carry blood. Veins are blood vessels which carry blood. Blood vessels are tubes which carry blood. Veins are blood vessels which carry blood from the back body to the heart. Arteries, arteries, blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to the body. There are also microscope blood vessels which connect arteries and veins together called capillaries, and there are few main blood vessels which connect to different chamber of the heart. The aorta is the largest artery in our body. The left ventricle pumps blood into the aorta, which then carry it to the rest of the body through a smaller artery. The pulmonary trunk is the large artery which the right ventricle pumps into. It is split into pulmonary artery which take the blood to the lungs. The pulmonary veins take blood from the lung to the left atrium. तो यहाँ पे एक्सेप्शन होता है, जो पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज होती हैं, जो पल्मोनरी वेन्स होता है, इनका फंक्शन जो है ना एक्सचेंज हो जाता है. All the other veins in our body drain into the inferior vena cava or the superior vena cava. These two large veins then take the blood from the rest of the body into the right atrium. Valves are fibrous flaps of tissues found between the heart chambers and in the blood vessels. They are rather like gates which prevent blood from flowing in the wrong direction. They are found in a number of places. Valves between the atria and ventricle are known as the right and left atrioventricular valve, otherwise known as the tricapsid and mitral valves respectively. Valves between the ventricle and the great arteries are known as the semilunar valve. The aortic valve is found at the base of the aorta, while the pulmonary valve is found the base of the pulmonary trunk. There are also many valves found in the veins throughout the body. However, there are no valves found in any of the other arteries beside the aorta and pulmonary trunk. Cardiac cycle. The cardiac cycle is the sequence of events that occurs in one complete beat of the heart. The pumping phase of the cycle, also known as systole, occurs when heart muscle contracts. The feeling phase, which is known as diastole, occurs when heart muscle relaxes. At the beginning of the cardiac cycle, both atria and ventricles are in diastole. During this time, all the chambers of the heart are relaxed and receive blood. The atrioventricular valves are open. Arterial systole follow this phase. During atrial systole, the left and right ventricle respectively. The next phase is ventricular systole. During ventricular systole, the left and right ventricle contract at the same time and pump blood into the aorta and pulmonary trunk respectively. In ventricular system, the atria are relaxed and receive blood. The atrioventricular valve closes immediately after ventricular systole begins to stop blood going back into the atria. However, the semilunar valves are open during this phase to allow the blood to flow into the aorta and pulmonary trunk. Following this phase, the ventricles relax, that is, ventricular diastole occurs. The semilunar valves close to stop the blood from flowing back into the ventricles from the aorta and pulmonary trunk. The atria and ventricles once again are in diastole together and the cycle begins again. Components of the heartbeat. The adult heart beats around 70 to 80 times a minute at a rest. When you listen to your heart with a stethoscope, you can hear your heartbeat. The sound is usually described as a lub-dub. The lub, also known as the first heart sound, is caused by the closure of the atrioventricular valve. The dub sound is the closure of the semilunar valve when the ventricle relaxes at the beginning of the ventricular diastole. Abnormal heart sounds are known as murmurs. Murmurs may indicate a problem with the heart valves, but many types of murmur are no cause for concern. The electrocardiogram. एक पॉइंट मिसिंग है जो यहाँ कार्डियक साइकिल मैंने आपको बताया है. यहाँ पे एक लाइन थी, आई थिंक देयर इज मिसिंग समथिंग, या ये वाला लाइन जो था, ठीक है, ये जो सेंटेंस था, यस, ये वाला एट्रियल सिस्टोल फॉलो दिस फेज ड्यूरिंग आर्ट्रियल सिस्टोल। यहाँ से आप लिख सकते हैं ड्यूरिंग आर्ट्रियल सिस्टोल द लेफ्ट एंड राइट आर्ट्रिया, the left and right atria contract at the same time and push the blood into the left and right ventricle respectively। ये लाइन आप यहाँ पे ऐड कर सकते हैं। ड्यूरिंग atrial systole the left and right atria contract at the same time and जो ब्लड होता है उसको पुश करते हैं लेफ्ट एंड राइट वेंट्रिकल में, ठीक है। उसके बाद ये वाला जो नेक्स्ट फेज है द वेंट्रिकुलर सिस्टोल, तो इसमें क्या होता था, द लेफ्ट एंड राइट वेंट्रिकल्स होते हैं वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होते हैं एट द सेम टाइम एंड पम्प्स ब्लड इनटू द एओर्टा। तो ये वाला लाइन यहाँ पे जो मैंने बताया कि जब एट्रियल सिस्टोल होगा तो वहाँ पे क्या होगा कि जो लेफ्ट और राइट आर्टरियाँ हैं दे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एट द सेम टाइम एंड जो ब्लड होता है उसको वेंट्रिकल में जो लेफ्ट एंड राइट वेंट्रिकल होता है उसकी तरफ डाल देते हैं, पुश कर देते हैं। सो नोट डाउन दिस वर्ड्स here। ओके, आफ्टर कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ द हार्ट बीट हम आते हैं इस पे, द इलेक्ट्रोकार्डियोग्राम। The heart has an inbuilt rhythm of contraction and relaxation. A small group of heart muscle cells called the pacemaker help achieve this. The pacemaker generates an electric impulse which is sprayed over the atria, making them contract. This impulse then spreads to the ventricles, causing them to contract. The electrical changes that is spread through the heart can be detected at the surface of the body by an instrument called the electrocardiograph. Electrodes are placed in a number of positions over the chest and the electrical changes are recorded and moving graph paper as an electrocardiogram ECG. Effect of aging on the heart in men and women. As a part of normal aging process, a number of changes occur to the cardiovascular system. Our heart rate slows down because the time between the heartbeat increases as we age. This is one of the main reasons why heart is unable to pump out more blood during exercise when we become old. The amount of blood the heart pumps each minute can change as we age. It decreases slightly in older women. However, does not change in healthy older men who have no heart disease. The reason for the differences between the sexes is not fully understood. तो जो रीज़न है उसको अभी पूरी तरीके से समझा नहीं गया है कि जो जिसमें कोई हार्ट डिजीज़ नहीं होता मेंस में, उनमें ज़्यादा जो चेंज नहीं होता है जो हार्ट बीट में। As we age, our blood pressure falls much more on standing from the sitting position compared to when we are younger. This phenomenon is known as postural hypotension. This explains why elder people are more likely to feel dizzy or fall when they stand up quickly from the resting position. तो जिसकी वजह से जो एल्डर पीपल होते हैं वो क्या होता है, वो रेस्ट के बाद अगर खड़े होते हैं तो ज़्यादातर वो उनको चक्कर आ जाता है, वो गिर जाते हैं। ये जो होता है एक फिनोमिना होता है, उसको कहते हैं, उसको पोस्टुरल हाइपोटेंशन कहते हैं। नेक्स्ट इज कंपैरेटिव एनाटॉमी ऑफ वर्टिब्रेट हार्ट। The heart is hollow muscular organ that rhythmically contracts and relaxes during each contraction relaxation cycle. Blood is drawn from the veins into a thin wall collecting chamber, the atrium, and is then passed to a second thick wall chamber, the ventricle, which forcibly contracts to distribute the blood to the arteries. Backflow is prevented by one-way wall. Differences between the hearts. The fish heart is much different from the amphibian, reptile, bird, and mammal heart. Hearts are very complex. They are not just a bunch of random arteries and veins connecting tissues. Fish heart simply draw in deoxygenated blood into a single atrium and pump it out through a ventricle. This system is termed single circulation as blood uh, enters the heart, gets pumped through the gills and out to the body. जो respiratory organs होता है in fish, that is gill. Blood pressure is low for oxygenated blood leaving the gills. 3 and 4 chambered heart have a pulmonary socket pathway taking blood from heart to the lung and back to the heart. That is every complex and that is very complex and must be set up such that blood can travel from the heart to become oxygenated in the lungs and then be properly pumped back into the heart and out to the body. The third and fourth chambered heart has a double circulation and is quite different from the single circulation of fishes. Double circulation has an anterior socket within the heart. Blood enters the heart, leaves the heart, and get oxygenated, enters the heart again, and then gets pumped out to the body. Double circulation allows oxygenated because double circulation allows oxygenated blood to be pumped back into the heart before going out to the body. It pumps blood with much more pressure and much more vigorously than single circulation. फिश हार्ट की बात करें तो फिश हार्ट जो होता है 2 चैम्बर होता है, 1 आर्ट्रियम, 1 वेंट्रिकल एंड सिंगल सर्कुलेशन होता है. रेप्टाइल्स और एम्फीबियंस की हार्ट की बात करें तो देयर आर 2 आर्ट्रिया, 1 ventricle, and both oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are mixed and double circulation होता है and there are 3 chamber in a heart. Mammalian heart की बात करें तो deoxygenated blood separate हो जाता है and there is no mixing of deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood. Double circulation is also occur and 4 chamber heart होता है. यहाँ पे structure आप देख सकते हो. Though the 4 chamber heart has 2 atrium, ventricle pairs, both pair do not same thing. मतलब जितने भी पेयर होते हैं एक जैसा काम नहीं करते हैं. There are 4 steps involved with blood entering the heart. पहला है जो oxygen poor blood enters the first atrium. Oxygen poor blood is fed to the first ventricle which pumps it out to the pulmonary socket, lungs, where it is enriched in oxygen. Oxygen rich blood just leaving the lungs is pumped back into the second atria. Oxygen rich blood is then fed to the second ventricle which pumps to the oxygen rich blood out of the heart and back into the body for use. The four chambered heart differ from the 3 chambered heart in that it keeps oxygenated there is one ventricle for deoxygenated blood. In third chamber hearts, single ventricle pumps both out of the heart and there is some mixing between the fresh and old blood. तो बेसिकली जो मिक्सिंग होती है वो जो 3 चैम्बर्ड हार्ट होता है रेप्टाइल्स एंड एम्फीबियंस में होता है, बट इन मैमल्स इसमें क्या होता है कि जो मिक्सिंग नहीं हो पाती बिकॉज देयर इज लेफ्ट एंड राइट वेंट्रिकल, देयर आर 2 वेंट्रिकल. The true ventricle and 4 chamber heart prevents mixing, allow the blood leaving the heart to have far more oxygen than it would otherwise. This is good for enhancing the fast-paced lifestyle that birds and mammals to have, giving and an advantage to having enhancing the fast tend to have a giving an advantage to having a 4 chamber heart. तो एडवांसमेंट की वजह से जो 4 chamber heart होता है उसमें ज़्यादा एडवांटेज हो रहा है कि बिकॉज देयर इज नो मिक्सिंग ऑफ deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. So ये advantage होता है because there are two separate ventricles. First is right and left ventricle. Second, note, fish has two chamber in heart. Amphibians and reptiles have three chambered heart, and mammals and birds have four chambered heart. This image shows the progressive changes in the heart between ancestral vertebrates, the fishes, and most derived from the birds and mammal. एंड आई होप आपको ये नोट्स पसंद आए होंगे. अगर वीडियो पसंद आती है तो प्लीज़ डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. अगर आपको अदर टॉपिक के भी नोट्स चाहिए तो आप प्लेलिस्ट चेक कर सकते हैं. MSc जूलॉजी प्लेलिस्ट है, आप वहाँ पे चेक कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू.